films that wouldn't exist without fanfiction, and once you know, you'll never look at them the same way again. Number 1. This one is so obvious. I feel like this is the one that everyone immediately thinks of, and if you don't know that this was fanfiction, then you must be living under a rock. It is After. Yes, the film series used to be a fanfic on Wattpad about Harry Styles. Anna Todd wrote it when she was a teenager. The fanfic was originally called After. It then became a book series, and then it became a film series. And whilst it's not the first film to have originally come from fanfiction, I think it's safe to say that this is the first film where people knew it used to be fanfiction going into it. The second one is also really well known, but I feel like the original target audience for the book and the films wouldn't have necessarily known this. And I am talking about 50 Shades of Grey. If you didn't know, it used to be Twilight fanfiction. The fanfic was originally called Master of the Universe. It was a BDSM Twilight fanfic, and it was written by Snow Queen's Ice Dragon, who of course is E.L. James. The fanfic was posted on fanfiction.net, which, before I discovered AO3, Archive of Our Own, fanfiction.net, oh my god, some of the best fics I've ever read have come from that website, and we do not talk about her enough. But yeah, for those who are chronically online, this isn't news, and people would also know that not only was 50 Shades of Grey inspired by Twilight, but Twilight was inspired by My Chemical Romance, and the downfall of Ellen DeGeneres can be basically linked back to Gerard Way witnessing 9/11. If you don't know about that very incredible, weird pipeline, look it up, it's great. Number 3, another obvious one, hasn't been released yet, but it is in the works, the Love Hypothesis. So the Love Hypothesis is a big book within the book talk fandom. It's getting a film starring Lily Reinhart and Tom Bateman, and you can really tell on the cover of the book, this used to be Star Wars Reylo fanfiction. It used to be called Head Over Feet by Ever So Reylo, and it's so funny that Tom Bateman is playing basically Kylo Ren in this film because he is married to Daisy Ridley. Can you imagine your husband is playing the main love interest in a film that only exists because there's fanfiction of you? Do you guys think Daisy Ridley has either read The Love Hypothesis or, even better, has read the Reylo fic? If this was me, if I was Daisy Ridley, I would be reading that. Now this next one, I had no idea, but now that I know, it just makes so much sense. Mortal Instruments used to be Harry Potter fanfiction. Cassandra Clare, back in the day, wrote the Draco trilogy, which consisted of 3 fanfictions known as Draco Dormiens, Draco Sinister, and Draco Veritas. It was a Draco x Ginny fanfiction series, and apparently a big chunk of the story of the Mortal Instruments and the relationship dynamics comes from this Draco trilogy. However, the title Mortal Instruments actually comes from a fanfic she wrote before that called Mortal Instruments. However, that one was a Ron x Ginny fanfic. Yeah. Cassandra Clare has gone on to say that her Mortal Instruments series was not inspired by her Harry Potter fanfiction. However, is this the truth, or is this just her trying not to have her work associated with Harry Potter? What do you guys think? Number 5, I love talking about this one so much. Red, White and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston would not exist the way it does had it not been for Social Network RPF, aka real person fanfiction between Jesse Eisenberg and Andrew Garfield whilst filming The Social Network. Now this claim that Red, White and Royal Blue used to be Social Network RPF has been heavily debated. It has pretty much been confirmed that Casey McQuiston did used to write Social Network RPF under the name Robin Pulaski. However, is Red, White and Royal Blue a fanfic fully converted into fiction? Not quite. However, people who have done a lot of research to see if Red, White and Royal Blue is Carry It In My Heart have determined that the 2 stories do share a few similarities. The main similarity being the writing style, and also scenes where one of the characters keeps a key around their neck as it symbolises a place that's very important for them. So whilst Red, White and Royal Blue is not an exact copy of Carry It In My Heart, Red, White and Royal Blue would not exist in the way it does had it not been for Carry It in My Heart. Basically, we owe the Red, White and Royal Blue film and the new Red, White and Royal Wedding film to Mark Zuckerberg, weirdly. I don't know if I want to be thanking him for that, but as a bonus, we would not have heated rivalry as we have it now had it not been for Rachel Reed writing the Game Changer fanfic on AO3. Now this example is slightly different and I'll go into a bit more detail. Heated Rivalry is the second book in the Game Changers book series, with the first book being Game Changer, which tells the story of Scott, who is a hockey player, and Kip, who is a smoothie barista. Now this is different from the other examples because Rachel Reed did write this as original fiction. However, she wanted to get feelers out for the story and she didn't realise that on AO3 or Archive of Her Own, you could publish original fiction on there. She thought it had to be fan fiction or referencing characters from an IP. So she converted her characters into Marvel characters, and suddenly Game Changer became a Stucky, aka Captain America and Bucky Barnes fanfic. Scott Hunter became Steve Rogers and Kip Grady became Bucky Barnes, which means apparently Ilya Rozanov was Pietro Maximoff, which makes so much sense. But I do wonder, who would Shane Hollander be in the Marvel Universe? Because in my mind, I would have immediately thought Steve, but if Scott is Steve, would it be Peter Parker? Vision? Who do you think? Who would Shane be in the Marvel Universe? Let me know. People loved the Game Changer fanfic, and then Rachel Reed published her Game Changer book, but then she went on to write Heated Rivalry, and then, the rest is history. Those were 6 film/TV shows that wouldn't exist without fanfiction, or at least not exist in the same way without fanfiction. Please tell me if I missed any. I'd love to hear more and discover more films that used to be fanfics. If you want a really, really great YouTube video that explores even more fanfictions that went on to be books, please check out Coley Does Things on YouTube. It is so interesting. It's just great. Did you know all of these? Please let me know in the comments below.